Hello and welcome to the Capital Area Theater Show. I am your host, Jeremy Patterson, and with me today is local actor, vocalist, and puppeteer, Gabrielle Dixon. Hello, Gabrielle.
Hello, Jeremy.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Thanks for sitting down. It's okay.
Thank you for having me.
So, we're here to talk about your career,
Yes.
but I figured we'd start at the beginning and see how you got started
Oh, snap.
in theater.
Oh, okay. How I got started in theater.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Well, I got started. Well, I feel like the first thing that kind of made me want to do theater was probably going to see shows. Like, my Mimi would take me to see Popcorn Hat Players all the time. I loved that. They even came to my birthday party when I was little. And then I remember going and seeing like Peter Pan. And I was like, oh my gosh, and they actually flew in the show, and I was like, this is amazing. And then I kind of just started doing my own, like, I would write scripts in my notebooks and stuff, and like I would get my neighborhood friends and my sister and brother to like come in the house, and I would be like, okay, here's your part, here's your script. But nobody took it as seriously as me, and it really made me mad. Like, they would all leave and be like, we're not doing this anymore, you're being too mean. I was like, no, I'm just dedicated. You guys aren't dedicated like I am. So yeah, I did that. And then in 5th grade, that was when my school, because we had a school, I went to a Christian private school, so it was like literally kindergarten through 12th grade was all in one building. So they were doing a production of Annie. And so they reached out to, the elementary kids to audition for the show. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is my chance. I was like, I am going to be either, like Annie or one of the orphans. And so I got all my audition stuff together and I went in and I completely blew it. I remember it. I was so bad. I was off key. I think I forgot my lyrics. It was horrible. It was like my first audition ever. It was so bad. I obviously did not get Annie, and I didn't get any of the orphans. I literally was a girl. I walked on stage one time. I just walked straight across the stage with ice skates in my hand. I was so upset and disappointed. And this other girl in my grade got Annie, and I was so, I don't know if I was mad, I was just upset because, like, she was the lead. I was like, no, that's what I want to be doing. Like, you don't want to do this. I was like, that's what I want to do. Yeah, so that's how I started off. But then, like, maybe like a couple months later, I went and auditioned at what is formerly known as YFC, Youth for Christ. They're called something else now. I don't even know. It's Harrisburg Christian Performing Arts Center, I think it is. But I went there and they had this kid show. And I walked in, I was feeling like more confident this time. And then I turn around and I see the girl from my school that got Annie walk in. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, again? You're going to try and beat me out for this lead role? So I went in.
What was the show?
It wasn't like a show lots of people know. It was Hard Rock Cafe. I think it was or not Hard Rock Cafe. Something Cafe. It was about this cafe and...
Smokey Joe's Cafe?
No. It was like... I don't know. They might have written it themselves or something. I've never seen it done anywhere else before, ever.
Okay.
So they might have written it themselves, but... yeah, I don't know what it was called. But yeah, she walked in. I was like, oh gosh. So then I auditioned. I did real good. Like, I did this like country accent for the audition and made everybody laugh. And I was like, oh good, I'm making them laugh. And then I ended up getting the lead. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. So then, pretty much from then on, well, not from then on. There was a hiatus in there. But yeah. From then till about my senior year of high school, I've been doing theater consistently.
Okay. So when you say consistently, Was it a non-stop thing? Was it a one show a year thing? Were you making was your mom a stage mom?
Oh, yes, she is stage mom. She's not like bad stage mom. She's like stage mom that I love.
Well,
But
every girl loves their stage mom, don't they?
I guess I wish she would have been more of a stage mom. I wish she would have taken, like, we would have went to, like, Broadway auditions and stuff and, like, commercials, but she was the stage mom I needed then. Like, she definitely was always supportive and all, like, she drove me to all my auditions, all my rehearsals, even up until I was, like, 'cause I only just got my license, like, about, I guess, a year, May 12th. So, like, even when I was in Shrek, when I was, like, 20, she was driving me from Hershey to York every day. So, yeah, she is stage mom extra. That's what I call her, stage mom, because she was still, like, if I wanted her to come to an audition with me still, she would come and be like, after shows, we have this debrief in the car. I'm sorry, I'm so excited about this, because I love her when she's my stage mom. But, like, after shows, we'll have a debrief, like, in the car ride back home, and she'll be like, oh, I didn't like how that person did that. They should have had more emotion. Or she'll be like, you know, like, even after my show in Sister Act, she gave me, she's like, sit up straight, like, don't hunch. She's like, we need to go, like, shopping, maybe get you a better bra for the outfit that you were wearing. She's like, and just, but it's great. Like, I appreciate it, because I want those notes. Like, I love when she, you know, helps me, and because I obviously can't see myself, like, when I'm on stage, so I take her opinion very, her opinion is very important to me.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Okay.
Did I go off base from the question you asked? Probably.
Not at all. When asking if your mother was a stage mom, you had plenty of ammunition to answer. So, with having a mother who's so supportive, back to the initial question I was asking, which is how often were you performing? And as someone who I know also sings, was it a thing where you were only doing musicals? Were you like, I'm going to do musicals and talent shows and?
I feel like I performed, I would say, consistently enough. I would say I do the, like, spring musical spring musical during my school year. I feel like I'd probably do, like, a summer show. Then they always had, like, a kiddie show at YFC, so I would usually always do those. So I felt like I did do, it was pretty much, like, one after the other, I guess. Maybe a little break, like a month or so. But, yeah, I felt like I did a good amount of shows. Enough where I never felt overwhelmed, I guess. What was the other part of the question?
I think you've answered it sufficiently.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. So, you go through high school, and you do all the shows in high school, and then you said up until senior year.
Well, okay. My senior year, I continued to do shows until I was a senior. And then came college time. So, you know, everybody's like, oh, what do you want to go to school for? And, of course, everybody's like, theater. You know, obviously, that's what I've been, you know, everybody's like, you need to do this. And for some reason, I just had, like, doubts, I guess. I didn't know if theater was what I wanted to do as a career. I was like, am I really gonna make it? You know, will I make any money? Well, you know, I don't know what really changed my mind, because I already had my applications in for, you know, all the, you know, top schools. My mom, my stage mom, was pretty much doing all the research, like, these are the best schools, these are the ones we're gonna apply for, you know, like, let's get the auditions set up. And then, I don't even know, I guess I just got self-doubt, and that's one thing about myself, I feel like, too. I have a lot of things that I like to do, like film has always been a big part of my life, and I also wanted to do that as well, so maybe I felt like I had been doing theater so much in high school for my whole life, I wanted to branch into one of the other things that I love doing. Maybe that's what it was. So
now, when you say film, do you say film as
like filmmaking?
Oh, so it's like a director or like
Yeah,
cinematographer and
like
the like.
not being in front. That's why everybody's like, oh yeah, like acting for film. I was like, no, like filmmaking. That's like, so I've always loved that as well. But I guess I've never had the opportunity to really, there's nobody really is, not as accessible as doing, community theater. So then I'd already applied to Point Park for theater and
Okay.
already had all my stuff in and was ready to go. And then I was like, oh, no, I'm going to change my major to cinema production. So that's what I went to college for. And that was where my kind of hiatus came, where I'm literally going to one of the top theater schools in the country and am literally surrounded by people singing in the what do you call it, where you eat, where everybody eats,
Cafeteria?
the cafeteria, literally singing. Like it's like it's a whole nother world at that school. Like it's literally like High School Musical, like playing bongos in the cafeteria, surrounded by that, like. And I had nothing to do with the theater community, like not at all. I guess it didn't even like bother me that much. I guess I just needed a break or to find myself, or I don't know. So I did film, and then
Okay, well, hold on. Let's dig into your hiatus. So you go, like you said, to one of the top theater schools in the country, and you go for film. As most people of this generation like to consider themselves, I'm pop culture nerd. Some of that being an emphasis on enjoying film. I'm going to indulge myself and ask you some of your favorite filmmakers.
oh god, no, don't ask me because I will give you the typical non-filmmaker. See, that's where I felt like I didn't even fit in the film community because I wasn't the typical androgynous.
Just
wearing-
ask.
Oh,
Just answer.
okay, because I only say that because there was a older film student who asked me that question. I gave my answer and they're like, really? I was like, who are you to even say? Whatever. Okay, it is Steven Spielberg because literally Hook, that's like one of my top favorite movies. When the little boy is looking into his face trying to find Peter, I cry every time. But that moment, I was like, wow. This is how I want to like make people feel. Like that made me want to be a filmmaker. So it has to be Steven Spielberg every time.
Now, when you say Steven Spielberg, is it... Because, full disclosure, I grew up with a Hook print on my wall, so I'm right there with you. I'm a fan of that. Admittedly, that's not a great film.
No, that is a great film. What are you talking? That is a great film.
It is a good film with some great production design moments.
That is a great.
Like
do you watch it now and you're gosh.
When I watch that movie now, I think to myself, let's get to Neverland, because all the stuff with him as a dad at the beginning is very boring.
What?
And Maggie Smith, I felt was like, I didn't realize that. Like, she looks now how she looked in that movie because they aged her up. But I thought she's like the oldest woman ever because of that, so that freaked me out.
Oh yeah, she was like only like 50 something, and I was like,
yeah, that's weird.
You had a hard life.
But
she looks old. That can't all be makeup now.
Not now, but
no, I mean like back then that couldn't.
Anyways, Hook is an entertaining film, but
no.
Okay, so your favorite filmmaker is Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
Is it the majority of his work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I just love how that was like the filmmaker that I wanted to emulate my career after when I was doing film, because he did so many different films and genres, and he just did kids films, action film, movies that he just did everything, and I felt like he did it so well, and that's what. And I felt like he really. He had those, big blockbuster movies and worked with the, big production houses, but he didn't sacrifice, I feel like nowadays some movies, like, a lot of them that come out of the big studios just don't have any meaning, or they're just stupid. Like, I felt like he worked with the big studios, but still got his message across and still made, good quality films and didn't sacrifice his filmmaking by working with them, So.
Okay. So, favorite non-nostalgic Spielberg film?
Non-nostalgic
Yeah,
Spielberg
well,
film.
I mean, you said Hook's your favorite because you grew up with it and the like, but do you
I
have
feel like they're all nostalgic to me. That might not be a good question.
Okay, fair enough. It was worth an ask, though.
Yeah, I don't know if they all have a special place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can move on from that one. Thank you for answering. So, Steven Spielberg. All right. So, now stepping out of your hiatus from where you were away from the stage.
Yes.
What gets you back on stage?
Well, so I went to Point Park for 3 years. Yada yada. Decided to come home, back to Hershey, just for personal reasons. And I really felt like that was a part of me that was missing, was not doing theater. And I was like, well, while I'm here this summer, let me look up, a show to do. So I don't even know how I stumbled upon York, because I didn't even know where York was. I had no idea, what that even, I really only did theater at my, set couple places. I never really branched out. So I actually went and auditioned for Mount Gretna Theater, because I'd done stuff there the senior year, my summer after my senior year. Yeah, totally blew that audition, because they were just looking for something else, and I knew it, and I did a song that I shouldn't have done. But yeah, so I didn't get that, so then I went and auditioned for York Little Theater for their show Shrek, and I really wanted dragons so bad. And I auditioned, and then I got a call back, and then at the callback, oh my gosh, my voice was so horrible. They had me sing Forever from Shrek, and I was having such trouble getting up to the notes, and it literally, I must have been sick or something, and luckily they were gracious enough, and they still cast me. I was like, thank God. I don't know what that audition was horrible, but yeah, so then that kind of got me back into that show. Pretty much I felt like changed, honestly, the direction of my life. That was one of the shows that changed, because I met my boyfriend, I met Ryan, there's so many other great people. I met some great people that helped, I'm still friends with now, so. And that kind of changed where I was going, I guess. And especially Ryan. Because Ryan, he wanted to audition. And then came Rent up next. And I wasn't even going to go to that. And Ryan wanted to go. And I went with him. And then that kind of just tumbled into me just doing shows from then on. I was like, I miss this. I need to be doing this.
So what was missing from your life was that sense of community and all of that together?
Yeah, and just being on stage and I guess expressing myself in the way of theater. I guess I just can't imagine doing that. That was 3 years of not even singing. I didn't even sing.
Now, were you directing shorts or working on crews or just...
Yeah, I was doing film and making my own stuff, so I guess that was,
So I can ask you something that I always am curious about with people who've done filmmaking.
Yeah.
Was it about the immediacy of, you, me, take 2 scripts, stand here, say something, third person watches, it's a show.
Mm-hmm.
When sometimes with film, it's I need to get my actors and my camera people, somebody to run it, and then editing and sound and boom mic and all of the other factors that sometimes go into doing film projects. Was it about a different style of community with doing theater?
I don't know. I felt maybe... I don't know what it is. I felt like maybe I didn't belong in film because everybody that I was doing stuff with was so more different than me, I feel like. I don't know, I just feel like I didn't fit in, you know? Like...
That just wasn't your place.
Like, I love doing it, but I always felt uncomfortable. Like, I wasn't good, or I just didn't have the look of a film person, you know? Like, people aren't gonna be like, oh yeah, you do film? Like, I don't know. I always felt like I was maybe, I don't know. But yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to answer.
So you step away from that, and then you meet your boyfriend, and then you meet, like you said, you meet Ryan, and that starts the run where you're going.
We're doing it back to back to back theater. Yeah.
That becomes your life essentially.
Yeah.
So, having found two people in this one production, and then friends and the like moving forward, you say you step into Rent. Mm-hmm. Where's that at?
Rent was at Gettysburg Community Theater.
And you're from Hershey.
Yeah.
So you're trekking for shows.
Yeah, that was like the first time, like the furthest show. Luckily, my dad lives in New York, and that's back when I wasn't even driving. So I honestly don't even know how the heck I got there every day. It was a lot of Ryan driving me there, and then I would stay over at Marcus's house, and then like my dad would take me back in the morning. It was a struggle. I didn't even want to do that show at first. I was like, Rent, what is this? Because I didn't even know, because everybody's so hype about Rent. I was like, anti-hype. I'm like, I don't even want to know what this is, because everybody's so in love with it, so...
Have you heard of Hamilton? That's pretty popular right
well,
now.
I like him. This was me back in the day, where I was just like, oh, Rent. Everybody loves Rent. I don't even want to deal with it, so...
My best friend hates Rent, and we tortured him all through high school. And not like on purpose, but we would get in the car and 500, and he would just be like, God, why, guys? Why?
But I love Rent now. Now that I did it, I understand why people love it so much, but... yeah, I'm glad I did that show.
Okay. So what comes after Rent, since we're going to start...
What was after Rent?
Step into the crazy.
After Rent. Okay, after Rent, that would be... yeah, I think after Rent, I did Gretna Theater in the summer. And that was their TYA productions in the summer. So it was like all summer. Every day I was there. I think... yeah, like every day except for like Monday or something. Yeah. And it was like 9 to like, I think like 12. And we would just, every 2 weeks, we would have a new kid show that we would perform on Saturdays. So that was really fun. And getting to do like a bunch of different characters. Oh, my favorite character ever, Princess Buttercup. I got to play a child. And I know that I will probably never again get to be a little kid ever. So I cherished that show so much. It was so much fun. I got to wear a big tutu and like just talk like a kid, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So yeah, I really loved that because I got to be like all these different characters that are totally like against my type that summer. So that was great. Yeah.
Okay, so what comes after that?
Think of us Hairspray.
Okay.
In October.
That's where I meet
with
you.
The lovely Jeremy Patterson.
Oh, no, I was
You were my son.
I was your son. How crazy is that? I actually saw some people at another... well, I was out seeing another production who were like, were you in Hairspray? We enjoyed that. And we enjoyed your mom and your sister. And I thought, okay. Oh, we'll take this moment and say... hi, Annalise.
Hi, Annalise. Oh my gosh, I love her.
She's amazing.
She's the sweetest. And her mom, they're just so...
that whole family is just... they're
so
doing
nice.
Doing it right.
Yeah, and she's got... everybody look out for her Broadway World blog. It's amazing.
She's somebody I should probably sit down with and interview.
Yeah, yeah. 9th interview. Right, I'm putting it... right, saying that right now.
Possibly. I don't know if I'll be able to get it.
Unless it's already booked.
Yeah, it might be. There's some bookings. But okay, so Hairspray, that was an experience. I can ask you what your thoughts were about that. But, like, how did you feel? Did you enjoy the production? And
I feel like in the beginning, it wasn't really something that I didn't really know I don't know, it was more of a Ryan dragged me to the audition, and I was like, oh, I'll come and see what happens. And then he ended up dropping out on me, and I was by myself, and I was like, great. I was like, I can't drop out either, that looks really bad. And then I stuck with it, and it was amazing. I am so glad, one, that theater is just, that's probably the thing that kept me in there. I was like, this theater is huge, that was amazing. And I don't know, I ended up loving Hairspray. I felt like it was a great show. My mom said to me, she's like, this is the best production I've ever seen that you've been in. So it was pretty dang good. Yeah, I was glad. I feel like that's how a lot of my shows in the past maybe 2 years is I just kind of went to see what happened, and I didn't really know the show, and I was like, whatever, we'll see. And then I ended up loving it. So
well, knock wood, that keeps going.
yeah.
But yeah, you got to work with a previous guest of this show, Dustin LeBlanc, as a director.
Yes.
Would you like to say anything about working with Dustin?
I love Dustin. He's the best. What more can you say about Dustin? He's just he's an angel.
He is.
I love Dustin.
He's so sweet.
He is. He's just sweet and just I remember going up to him because, I don't know, me as an actor, I feel like I don't know, rehearsing it and not having an audience, sometimes you really do need feedback from people, or you start questioning yourself and feeling am I good? I feel like, you're around yourself doing this performance for, all the time. So I remember going up to him, I was like, am I doing okay? This was only a couple nights until the show opened, and I was like, am I doing okay? I feel like I'm just not doing good. Is there anything else I can do? Please tell me, am I, do you think that I'm hitting the character, or just, I just wanted, feedback. He was like, let me think about it. He's like, honestly, I think you're doing wonderful. He's like, once you get an audience here, they're gonna show you, that you're doing great. And he was right. Yeah, so I love Dustin. That really helped me, because I was really, freaking out.
Yeah.
And he really did calm me down just by, he's like, you're great, you're just overthinking it. Once the audience comes, you'll realize that you're, fine, you're overthinking it. So, yeah, Dustin's great. Nice.
Well, I was pleased to work with you on that show. That was a lot of fun.
That was.
There was some extreme cutting up, but.
What did we call ourselves? Minora Team.
We were the Minora Team.
Oh my gosh. I remember that, the first read through, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like these people. We took our picture.
We did our black people huddle. Yeah.
That's great.
That was awesome. And all those kids are so talented too.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a group.
Yes. Oh my gosh. All the. Yeah. I loved that cast.
So after Hairspray, where do you go from there? Because after that I lost sight of you because life takes over. But I want to know what happened. What was the next big? Where were the next big moves?
I think what happened was for some reason, I don't even know why, I must have been on the Fulton's website and just saw that they had auditions for Sister Act. And
The musical based on the film of the same name?
Yes, the musical based on the film of the same name. And I didn't even know Sister Act like that. It must have been God, honestly.
Wait, you didn't know Sister Act the movie like that?
No, I knew the movie. I mean the musical. I didn't know the musical like that. So it wasn't even something that was on my dream list of something. I don't even know how I really was oh yes, let's audition for this. Somehow I did. I don't even remember. So I remember the auditions were in December. So we went to them and auditioned with my normal audition song. And then they asked for a second song. And I was like, oh gosh, what do I do? And I had a dragon in there. So Forever from Shrek. And so I sang that, and then they let me on my way, and never heard of that from them for a good 3 months, I think it was. So I just assumed, I was like, okay, well, didn't get that, move on. And I don't even think I had plans to really do a show. I wasn't really even in anything. And then one day I was sleeping and I got this call, and I normally don't answer calls that it's just like a random number. I never answer calls like that. But it said Lancaster under it, and I was like, for some reason, I was like, I feel like I should answer this call. So I answer it, and they're like, hi, this is so-and-so from the Fulton. We are calling to ask you if you would like to audition for an understudy role. And I was like, yes, of course. And they're like, okay, can you do it today? And I was like, sure. And they're like, okay, how about 12? And of course that day I was like scheduled like a lot. I had a lot to do that day, and I had to work down at the hospital in Hershey. And so I was like, okay, I don't think I can do it at 12, but I can do it like at 5. And they're like, okay, we're going to call back and we'll let you know if that time works. So then I'm like hyperventilating. I'm like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have let them get off the phone. Like, what if they don't call me back? What if they find somebody else that they want to do it? And then finally, like an hour and a half later, they called me back and was like, yeah, 5 works. Just get here like right at 5. And I was like, okay. So I go to my job in Hershey, and the second I get out, like I had my audition outfit, like I had to change real quick, and of course it's raining, and it's like traffic time, so I'm like rushing to get to Lancaster, and I'm like, oh gosh, okay, I'm like warming up in the car, I'm like getting all my, like literally at stoplights, I'm like getting my audition book ready, and like taking stuff out so it's like easy to flip through, because I didn't know what they wanted me to sing. So I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm so, like, I don't want to blow this. I do not want to blow this. So I got there. I didn't even know where to park. And luckily they have like Fulton parking for like the people that work there, like right behind the theater. And then they have this, what is it called? They have a clubhouse where they do like rehearsal and stuff. So that's where I was supposed to go. So I just like swerved in. I was literally, I think it was like 5 minutes late too. I was like, oh God. Because you know the thing how they say, you know, early's on time is late. Late is fired. I was like, oh my gosh, they're not even going to consider me the second I walk through. So they're like literally standing at the door waiting. And like I still had to put my shoes on. Like I had, oh my gosh, it was a mess. I stepped in a puddle. Oh, it was so stressful. So I finally like go, and of course I'm like, hi, how are you? And it was a couple people in there. It was the director, the stage manager, the music director, one of the casting associates. So it was a good maybe like 4 or 5 people all sitting at a table like ready for me. And so I walked up there, and they're like, so what would you like to sing? And so I picked my first song, which is my normal like go-to song. Sang that. They're like, okay, and they're like, do you have anything that like goes into your, you know, lower register, like something low? And I was like, not really, but I was like, I can promise you I can sing low. But then I picked another song. What was it? It was like I don't even know what the song was, but I did another song for them. They're like, okay, thank you. And then they were like, okay, here's some sides. Can you just look them over, and when you're ready, just go ahead and read them for us. So I looked it over, started doing it, and I'm reading with them, and the director cuts me off before I was done with the page. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I didn't get it. They obviously don't like me. And then after that, he's like, we would love to offer you the role of the standby of Dolores in Sister Act. I was like, what? I was like, don't cry, be professional. You can cry when you get to the car. And then they're like, and also, we'd love to offer you the role of Dragon in Shrek. They're like, that's why your headshot was on our desk, because when you auditioned before, we already wanted to offer you the role of Dragon in Shrek. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, oh my gosh. And so then literally get whisked away up to the office. They gave me the Sister Act book and had me fill out like paperwork and stuff. And they're like, yeah, I think it was like a Tuesday maybe. They're like, yeah, the tech rehearsal starts Thursday. So we'll see you here Thursday. And I left, and then I had to go to Little Shop rehearsals, and I'm literally like driving in awe, like calling my mom and calling Marcus. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I got it. I was like, I couldn't even believe it. Literally the last thing on my radar. Like, I was not expecting a call from them.
Yeah, you were 3 months out, right?
3 months! I was like, I just assumed that they were done. Yeah, it was amazing. It was literally like a whirlwind experience, but it was amazing. And I'm so grateful to them for giving me that chance because, you know, I'm just some nobody from, you know, around the area. You know, they're auditioning people from New York and all over. Like, I will be forever grateful to them for literally just giving me that chance because that's a lot for, you know, to trust someone to, like, if the lead is off, I would be on. They don't know me from, you know, anybody. So I am so grateful that I got that opportunity because it was the best opportunity of my life. That show, honestly, changed. It's another show that's changed the track of my life forever now. So
did you get the chance to go on?
Yes, I did.
How many times?
3 times. 3 amazing times. Oh my gosh. 3 amazing, nerve-wracking times.
How much notice did you get?
About an hour, I would say.
For each?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, yeah, so I came in late into production. They were already done, you know, doing it. They were in Tech Week. So pretty much all tech, I just sat there in the theater and watched. I had my book open. I was taking notes, you know, just like, okay, she's going stage right. She's doing this, just watching, which I honestly think really helped me. Because I didn't have a lot of rehearsal time. I had one rehearsal. It was literally like maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours with just me and the stage manager. And we went over, everything, just the whole show. And that's about it because they actually do have an understudy rehearsal, which I was so excited for because I was like, at least, you know, if I don't get to go on, at least I'll get to do it with the understudies and stuff like that. But I was sick. Oh my gosh, I was so upset. I was like crying on the phone, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want you guys to be, you know, disappointed in me. Like, I was like throwing up. I couldn't go.
Yeah.
So they did the understudy rehearsal without me. I was so mad. And then the next day came and I'm getting ready. I was feeling better. And the stage manager calls and it's like, hey, we were just wondering if you're, you know, coming in today. I was like, yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. They're like, okay, how about you come in a little bit early just to try on costumes, just in case, you know, you would ever have to go on. And I was like, okay. So I'm putting on my makeup. I was like, that's a little weird, but I don't know. I didn't really think much of it. So then maybe like 5-10 minutes later, I get another call back. Yeah, so the lead, she's going to the emergency room. He was like, she's still gonna perform tonight, but we definitely want you to come in just in case so you can, you know, try on the costumes. And I was like, okay. So I stopped doing my makeup and that's when I like got everything and I'm like, my heart's beating. I'm like, oh God. And at that point, you know, I really did want to go on, but at that point I was like, oh no, I don't want to go on. I was like, please God, please let her get better. I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to go. I was like, I haven't had any rehearsal. I was like, please just give me like another day. Like then maybe like I can run through it again with the stage manager or like the other cat. Like I didn't feel like I was ready. So I'm driving in the car and I get a call and it's the stage manager and I was like, oh gosh, this is it. I was like, he wouldn't be calling again. He's like, so you're going to be going on as Dolores today. And I was like, okay. He's like, are you on the road already? I was like, yes, I'm on the road. So then, of course, when I hang up, you know, everybody's like, let us know when you go on. So I was like, okay, what do I do? I was like, okay, call your mom. So I called my mom. I was like, I'm going on. She's like, what? I was like, I'm going on. And she was like, okay, I'm leaving work now. And she like wrangled up my sister. I called Ryan. He was at work. I was like, I'm going on. He's like, what? Are you serious? I was like, I'm going on as Dolores. Like, can you come? He's like, I will make a way. Hung up with him. I couldn't call Marcus because he was at his internship and he had a client. So I was texting him. I was like, I'm going on today. He thought I meant tonight, like at 7 o'clock, because it was a Wednesday. So there was a matinee and a 7. So he thought I meant at 7. He's like, oh, great. Yeah, like that's awesome. And I'm doing all this while I'm driving on the highway. So I finally get there. The stage manager tells me, he's like, don't park, because they have like parking for the actors. He's like, don't park there. Park right behind the theater. So I pulled up. He's literally at the stage door waiting for me. Like, so I'm like running in. I didn't even have my makeup finished. So I walk in. I did a fitting. They took me up to her dressing room too, which I was like, oh my gosh, like, I thought I was going to be in my dressing room. But I went to her dressing room. They had all my costumes. So, like, I did, like, this quick fitting. Like, they had to, I think, like, one of the shoes didn't work. They're like, we need new shoes. Like, go over to the costume shop, get different shoes, da-da-da. And so then after that, I went out and did a mic test. And meanwhile, I'm trying to run through all the lines in my mind. Like, okay, scene to scene. What happens here? Okay, all the music. Do I have it all? Then by the time I finally like sat down, there was literally like 10 minutes about probably like 10 minutes until it went on. Meanwhile, I'm looking at all my messages. Marcus is like, oh yeah, I'll see you there at 7:30. I was like, no, I'm going on in 10 minutes. Like, I'm going on now. That's all I could say. I was like, sorry, this might be the only chance. I still did do my makeup, so I'm like rushing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was really, really, really intense. But they had, luckily, everybody there is amazing. Like, they were so welcoming. You know, they had people come up to the room, like I don't know, anybody, you know, like, they were like, what do you need? I was like, I need some water. Like, they were so kind, like, over the loudspeaker to the cast. They're like, whatever she does is right. Like, you follow Gabby. If she wants to do something crazy, like, just follow her. So, it was great. And then they had, you know, one of the dressers pretty much follow me around, and the costume lady followed me and just, you know, held my water, and I sweat a lot, so they had a nice towel for me when I got on stage to wipe my sweat. But it was an out-of-body experience. It was literally, like, I can't even explain it. It just felt like I was just being, like, carried through the stage, and I was just like, okay, I'm just going to follow my first instinct and go with it. And it actually went really, really, really well. And that is when I knew, at that moment when I got off that stage, that this is what I need to be doing for the rest of my life. It was amazing. Like, amazing. Yeah.
Wonderful.
It was a long story.
That's all right. So, now you've gone through, we've literally gone through your stepping stone process.
Yeah.
A semi-recurring theme has been your saying you've been ignorant of certain shows before you've gotten into the cast of them. Mm-hmm. So, my next question might be semi-moot, but I'm going to ask, what are some dream roles?
Dream roles. This one would probably never happen, but a girl can dream, because I would love to be Mort in Spring Awakening.
Okay.
I would love that, but unless they do some really, you know, life-altering casting, I doubt that I'll probably ever be that. Other dream roles. I feel like I know them, but I don't have them on the top of my head. I don't know. They're gonna come to me when this is all over. But Mort is definitely at the top.
Well, I know one.
What?
Mama Rose and Gypsy.
Oh, duh! Yes. But I wouldn't want to do that now. I would want to be, actually older.
Yeah.
Also, Miss Hannigan in Annie. I've technically gotten to do that before, but I was a senior in high school. I would want to do that when I'm like older and I guess you could do it now, but I love Annie. So
Really?
yes, I know a lot of people don't like Annie. It has a special place in my heart just because that was my first show.
Yep.
And I got denied, and then my senior year, that's what we did, and then I got Miss I felt like, I don't know, I've done Annie 3 times, so.
And you're still not tired?
I'm not. It's such a good show.
Okay.
I know a lot of people don't like Annie. I love Annie. But yeah, Miss Hannigan and Annie for sure.
Okay.
Again. I'm sure there's some others, but. You're laughing. I love Annie. Sorry.
I am laughing.
Annie would also be another dream role, but
We've already had Black Annie and it did not work.
I've definitely passed that age bracket, so.
Okay, well then, as we get closer to wrapping up, I wanted to talk to you about a subject that we had mentioned, implied we'd talk about via social media, which is how you feel about racial casting, because you've had the opportunity. I mean, obviously, playing the dragon is you're not even playing a person, so you've had that kind of opportunity. But then playing Dolores in Sister Act, which traditionally the film was designed for Bette Midler and she didn't do it, so then they gave it to Whoopi Goldberg, who was an equal star at the time, and so that role is a traditional African American part. And then in Hairspray with you, we both were playing traditionally African American characters because that show's about race. And then in Rent, you played Joanne, who is traditionally an African American character. But you said the character that you had the most fun playing was Princess Buttercup. And that was just...
It was.
And it was just a giant child.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, do you feel, not for yourself, because as actors we probably don't pigeonhole ourselves as much. I mean, some of us do. But do you feel pigeonholed by your ethnicity, as far as you've seen thus far in your climb?
I feel like it definitely depends on the theater and just who's casting, but I would definitely say for sure that there is, people feel like I am good for one role, which is, the sassy Black woman. And there is no problem with that. I love doing that. It's fun and it's great, but it's like there are so many other things that I'm capable of doing and doing just as well. Like, I don't just sing soulful. But I'm sure that's all people feel like I can sing because that's, all the roles that I get cast in, I do sing soulful. And I love singing soulful, and it's so much fun, and I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying I would love, the opportunity to be able to do, more classical, legit Broadway stuff, because I have been trained in that. That's basically what I was doing all in high school. Yeah, so I feel like, I don't know, especially in the community level, there definitely should be more openness to colorblind casting.
Okay. So, as someone who feels that you can be pigeonholed, and to a small degree has been pigeonholed, and you don't have like a list of roles that are either groundbreaking or whatever in either direction, how would you propose people move forward dealing? I wouldn't say people. How do you plan to move forward dealing with that kind of issues, quandary? Because, hopefully this is a situation where, your influence can provide direction or insight. Because I wonder how do you deal with that? Because do you feel you're contacted specifically to do that? And is there a situation where you feel like, do you feel obligated to take those roles?
Have I been contacted?
Like, has somebody said, hey, I'm doing this show and I think you'd be a good...
Probably community-wise. I don't know if I've necessarily been contacted ever. But I do, in the community level, I do not feel obligated to take those roles. Like, no, you know, that has no, if I'm doing a community show, I'm doing it for my, general happiness and what I want to do. Professionally, since I'm just stepping into the world of professionalism, I feel like I haven't really been contacted just to do, those type of roles. But if I ever was, I would do them gladly because, I'm getting paid, so.
Okay. Yay.
And I feel like that is a way, I do feel like, just like, I always think of Lady Gaga when I think of these things because I know the music she made in the beginning wasn't necessarily the stuff she wanted to be doing. She kind of did the whole, stuff that would get her on the radio, stuff that the studio wanted her to do so she could get to the place where people recognize, oh, wow, like, you're famous now. You can do what you want.
Okay.
Not saying I'm, going to be super famous, but I'm just saying, I feel like you do, in professional world, you might have to go through those...
Do what you gotta do.
Doing those roles, everybody starts at the bottom. Not saying that's the bottom, but I'm just saying even if you don't want to necessarily do that and have your career be, your repertoire filled with that, you're just do them, and the more, if you do them well, people will be like, okay, well, let's see what else she has. But I do feel like the professional world is more willing to offer colorblind casting or opportunities to people of color to do, different roles that aren't necessarily the same than community level, which I don't understand. Because I feel like on community level, if a show literally has nothing to do with race, if like there's no mention of a race in the show,
yeah,
I don't understand why nobody can do it, but I seem to feel like they, I never see anybody where I'm like, oh wow, they cast an Asian person in this role that's not normally cast Asian, but, rock on. Like,
yeah.
I don't feel like I ever see that a lot in the community, which I don't understand because you feel like the professional world would be like that. And not the community world, because it's free range. Like, who cares,
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like, Les Mis on Broadway, they had so many amazing, talented people up there, and there was no regard for race, like, it was like,
yeah,
you're talented, you're going to be up there, 'cause I just went and saw it with my mom. I feel like if I saw a community show of it, it would not be the same way. I feel like people would be like,
you don't know if the openness and the
would be
there on the production
I
side.
really feel like it wouldn't, which is sad. And I'm like, look at Broadway. That is the pinnacle of theater. Aren't you all trying to imitate what you see up there? But they're being open, so why
can't you extend your standards or the like?
And I feel like that only happened when I got older, because when I was younger, I guess I was involved in more Christian theaters, and like my high school, which, they didn't have very many options because we was a really small school, so obviously I was getting a lot of, the, better parts, and I always got great parts at YFC, but the more I'm becoming older, when I was doing community theater, it was just like, oh, I guess that's not how it is everywhere.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of used to that when I was younger. But, I don't know. I feel like there's so much talent out there, especially for young ethnic people, and I feel like, you know, it would just take one show and one theater to change that, and I feel like there would be so many people that would come out of the woodwork and be like, we're here, we're ready, we're talented, we are, you know, we'll come do this stuff if you're willing to give us a chance and not just, you know, have us be the one thing that you feel like we should be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. So, as we start to wind up, what's next for you? What's next on the on the agenda?
Well, next week I start rehearsals for Shrek the Musical at the Fulton. I will be Dragon. Oh, I love that role. I love that song. I'll be Dragon and Mama Bear, which I loved that because it's such two different contrasting, you know, roles in one show. So I love that. I'm also a dulak dancer, so that'll be fun. And then that runs until July 16th. And I'm also working at Chocolate World in their 4D show as the voice of Kiss. So I start that literally tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about that. So that's pretty much what's next for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing you in all your future endeavors.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll be willing to sit down and talk with us as, you know, later on as you continue to progress through your career.
Yes, please have me back.
I will.
I want to come back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.